right, coordinate plane. We've taken some notes again in our spiral review. So here are the official notes that go in your notebook. The coordinate plane. So here is some vocabulary. So a coordinate plane consists of ordered pairs that have been graphed on this grid. And the first number in your ordered pair is your first coordinate, and it's on the x-axis, which is the horizontal line that goes from left to right, okay? And then you have your second number in your ordered pair is the second coordinate, which runs along the y-axis, which is your vertical line, and that runs from top to bottom, okay? So ordered pair. Pair means two. Partner up. So, and then it's where they kind of cross on the axis. So here is just some fun notes to take. So when you have your first number on the x-axis and your second number that's on the y-axis, you find where those lines on the grid meet, and that's where you put your point. So with a coordinate plane, there are 4 quadrants. Up to 6th grade, you only plotted points or graphed points in quadrant 1 with positive x values and positive y values. But this year we have learned that there are actually 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1 is positive x's and positive y's. So if your ordered pair has positive x as your first number and positive y as your second number, it will be graphed in this first quadrant. Then we work counterclockwise to the second quadrant. This is where your x values in your ordered pair are negative and your y values are positive. Second quadrant. And then we go continue counterclockwise and we get to the third quadrant. This is where x values are negative and y values are negative. They're both negative. So both the numbers in your ordered pair are negative. And then we get to the final quadrant, quadrant 4. And this is where your x values are positive, but your y values are negative. So we took some of these notes in your spiral view as well. And we notate 1, 2, 3, and 4 as Roman numerals. And another thing that we say, just kind of remember how to plot them. You walk across the x-axis and shoot or climb along the y-axis. So you have to like dribble the ball across the court before you can shoot the basket, okay? Or drop it. You can drop it because it can go below the x-axis on the y. All right, and something that we kind of started discussing with our coordinate plane is that there is a lot of symmetry in a coordinate plane. A lot of symmetry. So if you have 2 points, okay, and they have the same integers, but the opposite value of those integers, like your x values are opposites each other, you will note that they are in the exact position in the coordinate plane, but just in different quadrants, which is kind of cool. So I have 3, 4, positive, positive, with negative 3 and 4. I have 3 and 4, positive, positive, with 3 and negative 4, the opposite of the y. So here I have the opposite of the x, here I have the opposite of the y, and here they're both opposite. So how does that look on the coordinate plane? So I have kind of built my own coordinate plane. It's a lot easier to do this on graph paper, but you can use it on lined paper too. You just don't have the vertical lines, you just have the horizontal. So I use my horizontal lines to my advantage and just try to equally space out when I number my x-axis or my y-axis. The longer you make your lines, the better. I probably could have extended this a little bit bigger to give myself more space to space out my numbers when I numbered the x-axis and the y-axis, but okay. So the point in the middle of your x-axis and your y-axis is your origin. That's 0. So I know you've seen some number lines, but this is 0, 0, okay? Kind of squeeze that in there. You can't really see it, but that's what I put. All right, so what I have done is I graphed my positive 3, positive 4, and put it there, and I wrote those coordinates. Let me see if I can zoom in on this, because I know I wrote it really small. I have a tendency to kind of write small. I really apologize. I don't know. I think because all the math I took throughout my life, when you start getting into advanced math, the problems get really lengthy, and I didn't want a bunch of pages, so I kind of started writing small to kind of fit more on the page. So I apologize for that habit I have. I'll try to work on that. All right, so here's your positive x, positive y. Here's the negative, the opposite of the x. And you can see that it's in the same position, but it's in a different quadrant. And then down below, the positive 3 and the positive 4 in the fourth quadrant, I have the opposite of the y coordinate. And then here in the third quadrant, it's the opposite of both of the coordinates in your ordered pair. So it's just kind of something to recognize, okay? You can have the same digits, but if they're opposite of each other, they're gonna end up in different quadrants. But if you are trying to create symmetry, like using a coordinate plane or using graph paper to make symmetry, you can plot points just opposites of each other to create that symmetry, which is kind of neat. If you're an artist and or you want to get into like graphic design or architecture, engineering, these are good things to know. So we'll have some fun with this and do some fun questions with ordered pairs.